Hello. Is anybody available? You're welcome to live. If people join, you see the number of requests. Nobody did know. Thank you. Hello, good day, everyone. I felt it's important to quickly make this video so that anybody who is online later can watch. So if you are online later, you can watch this video. So welcome to my live. So in today's live, we are going to be learning how to make a basic bodice block full scale. Full scale. We'll be learning how to make a basic bodice block full scale. And this is my pattern paper. In here, I've gone ahead to mark out the important points. Shoulder to bust, shoulder to half length, and then the full length. Why for this side, this other part? Of course, this one will be the front block, and this will be the back block. And for the back block, I have shoulder to half, that's the back half length. Of course, the back and the front half length, they are not the same. So take note, they are not the same. And then from shoulder to the front length, that's the back length, sorry, the back length. So because of the bust at the front, the back and the front half length, they are not same. Now, how did I get this paper I'm working with? How did I get it? What I actually did is to use the biggest circumference I have in this measurement. Of course, before I continue, let me tell you what I need for this tutorial. I need the shoulder to bust, shoulder to half length, the bust, the back length, the bust, the waist, and then the nipple to nipple. That's what I need for this tutorial. Now, I also need the hip, sorry. I also need the hip. Now, the biggest part of this measurement here is the hip. That's the biggest part. So that's what I use in forming this. So what I did, I divided the hip into two. My hip is 44, divided by 2, we have 22. We have 22. That's what I use to get the wideness of this measurement. Now, the length of this measurement is the length of the blouse normally. The length you want to use for your bodice, that's your blouse, that's all you use for the length of this pattern. But for the wideness is your biggest body. Some people have their bust as the biggest part of their measurement. So if your bust is the biggest part, you're going to use your bust divided by 2 for this. So that said, let's go straight to the important stuff. So like I said, I have shown you what all these markings mean. So the next thing I'll go ahead and do is to mark my shoulder measurement. So my shoulder is 15, divided by 2, of course, is 7.5. I'll go ahead and mark it on both the front and the back block. So 7.5. Seven 0.5. Another thing I'll go ahead and do is to mark my shoulder slants. I actually put my first video on the fabric or cloth making on this channel today. And in the video, we looked at how to make a basic bodice block half scale. And there I made mention of me using different slant for both the front and the back. For the front, I normally use 1.5. Then for the back, I use 1 inch as the slant. So this is the slant for the two. For the front, 1.5, for the back, 1 inch. So now, another thing we want to calculate for is the bust line. How do we get the bust line? The bust line is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Now our bust is 40, divided by 6 is 6.66666. Then plus 1.5, we have about 8.16. So that I'll be imputing down, like I'll be imputing it down like this. But I will not just impute it from any point. I'll be imputing it back, from the back slant. You know, we have the front slant, which is 1.5 down, and then we have the back slant 1 inch down. So I'll be imputing it from the back slant. That's 8.16 is around here. So I will check what I have altogether. I have about 9.25. So this, take note, from here to here is 8.16. Then after marking it, I went from the beginning to locate the point here so that I can easily just mark it through both the front and the back block. So I have about 9.25. So I'll go ahead and mark the 9.25 across. So this is it. .25. So the next thing to do is to just so this is my chest line, and on this chest line, that's where I was measuring. That's where the armhole will rest on. So you can also call it the armhole line, or the armhole. You can use it to calculate your armhole. That's what I mean. So that said, I'll go ahead at this point and also mark my shoulder measurement, which is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. I'll mark it here to 7.5. And then I'll go ahead and connect it up. So this is what we have. So of course, we know this is the exact bust measurement. So we don't have issues with that. So the next thing to do is to impute our neckline. So for this, because it's a basic block, our neckline for the back will be 3 by 1. I'm going to be using 3 by 1. And then I'll go ahead and do something like this. Y for the front is 3 by 3. So this is what we have. Now the next thing to do is to connect this shoulder slants to this neckline like this. I'll do same here. So that's that. So the next thing to do is to draft out the armhole curve. So for the front, what I normally do is to go up by 3 inches from this bust line, go up by 3 inches. This is the mark. And then for the back, I'll just share it into two. I'll look for the midpoint. So this for the back. So the next thing to do is to go in by 0.75 inches for the front and then 0.5 inches for the back. Note this. And then all I'll need to do is to connect from this slant to this mark using a straight line. I'll do the same thing here using a straight line. I'll connect. So this is what we have so far. This is what we have. So the next thing to do is just to go in with your French curve and connect it to the bust line. Connect it to the bust line with your French curve. You can see what I'm doing. So it means it's going to touch here and here too. So this is what I have. Likewise, this other part, I'm going to connect it to the bust line. So this is what we have. So this is settled. So the next thing, let's just fast forward. The next thing to do is to start imputing measurement. I'm going to impute waistline, as in our waist measurement here and here. You know, the waist for the back is here, while the waist for the front is here. Okay. So I'm going to be imputing the waist measurements. Our waist is 33 divided by 4 is 33 divided by 4, okay, it's 33, is 8.25. 33 divided by 4, 8.25. So I'm imputing it here. Then my dart intake is going to be 1 inch. So I also add it up here. I'll do that to the front too. 8.25 plus 1 inch dart intake. So all I'm going to do is to connect the line. Oh, okay. I'm going to connect the line. But before I continue, like I said earlier, what I used for this block was the hip measurement, not the bust measurement. So it means we are going to be imputing the bust measurement here. So of course our bust is 40, divided by 4 is 10. So this will be the bust measurement. 10 the bust measurement. So I'll go ahead and connect. So I'll go ahead and connect it down. I'll take it down because the down part is okay. So this is what we have for the back, and then for the front, we'll go ahead and do something like this too. So this is it. So if you have, hope you are understanding to this point. I know you understand. So the next thing to do is to impute our nipple to nipple measurement. The nipple to nipple measurement I'm using for this is 7 inches. Of course, what we need to do is to divide it into 2. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So all I'll need to do is to mark 3.5 like this. I'll mark it 3.5. This is the back. I'll come down by 1 inch from the bust line. 1 inch. That's where my 3.5 will start from. 3.5. 1 inch from the bust line. So I'll need to connect. So this is it. Then for the front, my 3.5 will start from 1 inch below the bust point line. That's this point, the bust point line. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to mark 3.5 here. I'm coming down by 1 inch because this is where it starts. Then I'm marking 3.5 here. And then I'll go ahead and roll it. So this is it. This is what we have so far. Now, I think I should change the color of my pen. So which color? This color is not which color should I use now? Let me use black because I want to draw a dot. So the dots, like I said, we added 1 inch for the dots. So what we need to do is to take out the 1 inch at this point. We are taking it ½ inch to the left and ½ inch to the right. So half, half. We'll do same to this point. Half, half. So all I need to do is to connect it. You can decide to connect it to these points. But sometimes what I do is to come up by 2 inches and then I'll stop there. 2 inches, that's where I stop. So I'm connecting it down to that point and then to this point. Then to this point. So this is for the back. Then for the front, we basically do the same thing. So this is what we have so far. Now, I told you about the front and the back not being the same because of the bust dart. So in this drafting, we are going to eliminate the bust darts. When you want to, of course, when you want to cut, you need to remove the bust dart from the side. So our bust darts is the difference between here and here, which is 2 inches. And that's what I'm imputing here. And what I'll do, I'll just connect it straight to this point. That's straight. So this 3.5 points. And that is it. I present to you your basic bodice block, full scale. This is it. And you need, if you want to become a very good fashion designer, you need to master your basic bodies. You need to know them very well. You need to know them very well. So we need to, the next thing to do is to cut. I need to cut this out. Cut it out. So, okay, let me cut it out. Until there's any need cutting it out. Oh my God. You know I'll be closing this, right? So, okay. Let me open it so that I can use tie to close it. So, you see the reason why I did this. Let me take a while. So I had to fold that point so that I can easily cut my, and then for this, so basically we've known the two important basic bodies block, and so we can start doing some sophisticated styles from now on. So if you have not watched the first video of pattern drafting in this channel, I actually uploaded it today. Please do yourself good by watching it. It will help you to understand subsequent videos on clothes making in this channel. If you have not watched it, go and watch it too, because that's the foundation. That's where we are laying all the foundation. So I will always be referring you back to the video, to the basic video. Please go and watch the basic bodies block, half scale if you want to understand this, or full scale if you want to understand this. So to prevent yourself from having to stress yourself, just watch it now. So this is it. I don't want to close this dart. Of course, I showed you how to close the dart in the first video. If you want to close this dart too, it's the same thing. I don't just want to close this dart. I don't want to split this open because I'll be using it for another stuff. So if you want to close it, all you need to do, connect this to this. So let me just show you. So connect it to this point and cut it open to this point. Once you cut it open to this point, you can now fold and close your dart and then hold it with your tape. And also, you can also, of course, you know, if you close the dart, okay, like I said, you close the dart. If you close the dart, the front and the back side will be same. You see, I was already making a mistake. I did not cut out this excess from the back. This is the back, and this is not needed. This is not needed for the back. So once we close the dart, these two will align. They will align perfectly. That's why it's good to draft your pattern so that you can close your dart before cutting it on your fabric. I think that's the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll see you in my next live. Bye. How many